We got another caller, and you've already heard his voice today talking about Russell Wilson and how he deserves more praise. This is Jason from off campus once again. Jason, you called back. What do you want to talk about?
So yesterday was, super fun day watching sports. Watched the Seahawks game. It was a shootout. Obviously, the 5-hour World Series game, and I love a good high-scoring sports event, as much as anyone. But I'm starting to think, is there too much offense in sports? Like in the NFL, all the rules are, catered to the offensive players. The NBA, the Warriors are changing the game. Every game they're scoring 120-plus points a game, and I just don't know if that's a good thing or sports or a bad thing, because it's fun to watch, but there's a point where you're just kind of sitting there and it gets kind of ridiculous. Like yesterday, home run after home run.
I think you answered your own question by saying it's fun to watch. That's ultimately that's ultimately what we're trying to do, what the purpose of sports is, to get people to tune in and watch. And if scoring more is going to be how you do that, tune in to watch, then I think, no, there's not enough offense. And, more people need to score.
To the casual fan, though, it's more exciting. But if you really know a lot about the sport, you've been watching it for years, there's a beauty about a good, 1-0 baseball game or a 10-7 football game.
That's a fair point, but the casual audience is the audience that everyone who is trying to, promote some sort of thing like the Major League Baseball is in baseball. Like, people need that if they're trying to grow their sport. So every sport is always trying to grow. Even this radio show, like, I think I mentioned it before, like, I wish Donald Trump would jump on a microphone and say that Half Athlete Radio is fake news, because that would get so much attention on this show and we would love it and lap it up. The way to get attention for baseball right now, if they are juicing the baseballs, is to go ahead and watch guys mash dingers. And that's what's happening right now. I don't think it's a situation where you can be mad that 22 home runs have been hit in the World Series, or, that two teams combined to almost put out 1,000 yards of offense yesterday between the Texans and the Seahawks. Like, I don't think you can be mad at that, because they're trying to reach the general audience, and that's what's going to attract the general audience.
Fair point.
You think so? You want to add anything else, or you want me to free this up and see if one last person wants to call in? Because
I was kind of thinking too, is the whole baseball thing this year, is it a fluke, or do you think this is something we're going to see for years to come? Like every home run record you can think of has been broken this year, like number of home runs in a season, in a World Series, in a postseason. And
yeah, I don't know about that. It's not a trend until it continues to happen, and like you said, it's been a breakout year for home runs. We'll have to revisit this conversation in another 2 years where we talk about, wow, look at how home runs have jumped up. I do think that's actually a good point. I do think that the value for a pitcher who can rip off a gnarly curveball has never been higher. Because we saw, Trevor Bauer and Corey Kluber and guys like that shut down the Yankees who mash dingers by throwing straight curveballs. Lance McCullers right now is untouchable just because he throws a curveball. Like, the curveball is going to be on the rise. So that's the trend you will see. You will see the pitching kind of answer, even if the baseball is juiced. You add that new approach that hitters are using. The pitchers are going to answer by pitching a different way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is something cool about sports. Kind of throughout the years, you kind of see the sport, constantly changing. Like, there'll be like a 5-year period, where the spread offense is, the thing to do, and then defense will adapt, then offense will adapt back. So there's kind of beauty in just watching sports throughout the year, kind of changing to fit whatever's going on.
Yeah, that teeter-totter idea of other people making adjustments to what you're doing. Jason, thank you so much for calling in again. I'm going to open up the phones one more time. We'll let one more person call in. You think anyone will?
I have a guy in mind. We'll see.
I might too. All right, Jason. Thanks, dude.
Have a good one.